Jaya Gopi Jannadala Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jannadala Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jannaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jannaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jannavalabha Givaradari Gopi Jannavalabha Givaradari Yashodanandana Braja Jannaranjana Yashodanandana Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya I think so, yeah. Vishvam Atma Yatam Yeah, I texted John Vaughn. I don't know how to do it. Atma Praspapanam Tama Vishvam Atma Gatam Yanjan Utosto Jagadankura Swatejasa Pitatibram Atma Prasvapanam Tamaha Vishvam Atmagatam Vyanjan Utosto Jagadankura Swatejasa Pitatibram Atma Prasvapanam Tamaha Vishwamatmagatam Vyanjan Kutasto Jagat Ankura Svatejasapibhativram Atma Prasvapanam Tamaha Vishwamatmagatam Vyanjan Kutasto Jagat Ankura Svatejasapibhativram Atma Prasvapanam Tamaha. Vishvam Atmagatam Vyanjan So we're on text 20. Okay, I don't remember. Okay, Prabhu. Rochandi. Vishvam Atmagatam So Ranjan manifest Utasta unchanging Jagat Ankuraha the root of all cosmic manifestations. Satejasa by its own effulgence. Apibad swallowed. Divam dense. Atma Prasvapanam which had covered the Mahat Tattva. Tamaha darkness. Translation per purpose by grace is brought upon Swami Srila Prabhupada. Thus, after manifesting variegations, the effulgent Mahat Tattva, which contains all the universes within itself, which is the root of all cosmic manifestation, and which is not destroyed at the time of annihilation, swallows the darkness that covered the effulgence at the time of dissolution. Since the Supreme Personality of Godhead is ever existing, always form of knowledge, its different energies are also existing on the stage. Thus, when the Mahatattva was created, it manifested the material ego and swallowed it with darkness, which covered the cosmic manifestation at the time of dissolution. This idea can be further explained. A person at night remains inactive, covered by the darkness of night. But when he is wakened in the morning, the covering of night will be fullness of the sleeping state disappears. Similarly, when the Mahatattva appears out of the ninth dissolution, the effulgence is manifest to exhibit the very radiance of this material world. Well, Prabhupada was talking about that. Thus, the lecture on this verse. So he said this at night, we go to sleep, dream at night. So we go to like so many different places in the world, right? And we forget everything about our bodily constitution. And then until we wake up, we remember, come to our consciousness and remember what our activities are, what our duties. But Prabhupada, he was calling this, referring to the chitta, the consciousness of entities. So, and he was also talking about the same thing like in Krishna, the reservoir of pleasure, that when the living entities come into the material world, they're originally pure, just like the rain. When the rain falls, it's originally pure, still water. When it touches the ground, it's mighty. So when the living entity comes into material consciousness, Mahatattva, comes in contact with material energy, the three modes of material nature, then he becomes conditioned and covered by material consciousness, desire to the glory of the material nature, material desire. So there becomes a materially conditioned. Nitya body, I was talking about that once. Nitya body, Nitya siddha, materially conditioned, Nitya body, materially conditioned. So generally liberated, Nitya siddha, materially conditioned body. So in the spiritual realm, in the world of absolute reality, it's one within diversity, it's eternity. There's form, it's variations. So for the living entity, this nitya bhava is eternally conditioned until he can become liberated by the grace of the pure devotee, engages the devotee in emotional service. Then at that time, you become liberated because everything's eternal in the spiritual world. You are eternal. So you understand the physics on that? That you're eternally conditioned into bhava, right? Until you become liberated, conditioned from the material world, then you again become nitya siddha, right? Eternally liberated. Right? You understand Krishna's nature. You understand that? Yeah, it's spiritual. It's like Prabhupada was saying, this, take a piece of paper and tear it into one piece, throw it in there. Often it's confetti, right? But it's the original piece of paper is lost, but not the spiritual manifestation. In fact, you can't imagine how many entities there are. So Maharaj was talking about members of the movie, saying, yeah, just go outside, look down the street, millions of living entities, all the blades of grass, trees, very few people, very few humans. There's mammals, right? So, but if you're thinking about like the whole Earth planet, or all the living entities in the entire Mahatattva, millions of universes, and that's not even hardly even the iceberg, the tip of the iceberg. Okay, is that there's 3/4 and more liberated living entities in the spiritual realm. Hare Krishna. Well, Krishna states in the Bhagavad Gita, the Allah said to Krishna, when it becomes nitya siddha from nitya bhava, will they become again nitya bhava, again become eternal condition, right? But the living entity is marginal. If you serve Krishna, if you serve Maya, that's what everybody wants, right? That's your only choice, actually. There's all the different varieties of choices that you have. Serve Krishna or serve Maya. But Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita, once again returning to Maya abode, one does not again return to this material world, which is full of misery, suffering, death, disease, and old age. What is it? I've heard so many different things for Krishna in the spiritual world asked Srila Prabhupada to come to the material world to preach Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Right. So that was kind of an interesting conversation, and, where this actually came from. But so what would be plan on? Oh yeah, so the Srila Prabhupada interested in coming into the material world as a Shakti-based Shakti-tar, for the purpose of serving his spiritual masters. Prabhupada always referred to service to his spiritual master, Bhaktisiddhanta, to there was a question. One of the sannyasis came back from London, another one of the sannyasis came back from London. They were unsuccessful. I guess there was two persons in higher class society. The one lady didn't even open the door for the devotees who lived in London to try to start ISKCON in England. Lady didn't come to the door unless they had another recommendation from the devotee month. So that's what they're basing. So Bhaktisiddhanta said what he said, and Prabhupada was in this summer. He said, one of my disciples will cross the ocean, will bring back the entire world. So there's a photograph of this morning. There's Prabhupada holding this Mahabharata. Every time I bring this photo of Srila Prabhupada and a big book of Mahabharata. So there's like Bhaktisiddhanta satisfied here. Some of the sannyasis, he was holding a water pot of yoga. There's so many devotees. And so that was a real nice photo. It's a real rich photo. So Prabhupada was talking about a lot of different things like the combination of consciousness and material energies that life is created from life and not from matter. He said that is the mistake of the current material society, so-called society, is that they believe that in evolutionary theory, they're accepting evolution, right? As science or fact. And these things can change. The notion of the day just 100 or 200 years ago, 200 years ago, and you'd be beheaded or hanged or severely punished if you said anything different from what was flat. Right? The astronomers, Nostradamus, they had to hide all their textbooks, their mirrors, and lenses, and telescopes. They had to keep them small. It's public execution, possession. It's considered heresy. Looking through glasses, striking fire with wood, which is sulfur, which is subject to heresy, witchcraft, and public execution. So, anyways, these things are always changing. Prabhupada said, so we don't accept the mind check. Perhaps, maybe, in the future, like that. So that's the common mistake of the current society. Prabhupada was saying, I was listening to a lecture yesterday. You have to be big and strong, so eat meat. And so in order to digest the meat, you have to drink alcohol or salt. So he said in the material world, right, these things are all simple activities, including anything doesn't know it. Actually, this is just common laws of physics of the universe. But they'll be able to discover these specific laws. That the living entity is a spiritual spark, is a soul, Satchit Ananda, parts of Krishna. A jiva atma, the specific self. So the self, we're not a combination of matter in the material body. but the self is actually the eternal spiritual being. And so we're transmigrating, we're recycling through different various species of life, culminating 8,400,000 species throughout the unlimited universes on top of it. And the universes, they also are filled with graded realms, which material scientists don't know about unless they read Srimad Bhagavatam and Surya's Nanda. There are higher and lower graded realms. What they're looking at here, they're still within the scope of the full mandala of the earthly planets, and then all the different stars and all the different types of earthly planets, and types of bodies that they're kind of thinking perhaps it contains the conditions for to contain life as we know it. You know, they have specific amounts of oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, solids, matter, liquids, gases. So, and everything else is being recycled too. Like Prabhu was talking about how the rose flower gets its rose from the earth, which is the same earth and supplying the same nutrients to so many different other varieties of species of vegetables and fruits and flowers, which have a very unique, distinctive taste, qualities, and smells. Where Krishna says that I can smell, I can taste the earth. See, I can taste the water, smell earth, the fragrance of the earth. That's the quality of earth. The earth carries fragrance, it has taste, it has form, it has sensation. It has all the other qualities of all the other material ingredients that are more subtle than the earth. So the earth has takes all of them. And so it's the same nutrients that are supplied to the same varieties of vegetation, and they all have their unique, distinct flavors and smells, scents. Prabhu also uses the examples of banyan tree. We also mentioned that in this lecture on that. So banyan tree has so many seeds, and within so many seeds, there's the potential of a complete total banyan tree. These banyan trees are really big. You know, I understand. In India, there was a banyan tree where Lord Shiva and Parvati sat. Lord Shiva was instructing Parvati. But from what I understand, it's like a whirling tide of way. In some real secluded rural areas, the banyan trees have grown so thick that the animals and the persons actually get stuck and lost in them. You know, that's why there's like description in the Bhagavad Gita. If there's a banyan tree with its roots upwards, its branches down, its leaves are Vedic hymns. So this the intricacies of the material world is what the sticks and twigs and everything corresponding with something like the leaves from the Vedic hymns. As a living entity is transversing through the material world lifetime. This entanglement is specifically entangled. Oh, and he doesn't know that he's lost in entanglement. Due to ignorance or avidya, they're headstrong. They think that by their scientific advancement and knowledge, we made so much advancement. It's actually really de-evolution. But it's kind of nice that we can utilize these things. We have communication. We now can broadcast Krishna consciousness of the classes and communicate with each other in real time. The yogis in India, they're also communicating. There's a description that it was a vine, and I think it has a stone, and they were using a root. Fifth caption about the third caption about I'm talking about a vessel, a pot they put a hole in it, put a rod in the pod, a certain size and hole, a specific diameter, and the specific position, and the rod is a specific diameter and length and weight, and it's put in the pot. And so the water slowly trickles just like a sand and it tells it's completely totally accurate. So the ancients, they knew all these things. Descriptions of in the Vedic text from Bhagavad that explains the planets and the universe position. That was another thing. It had the voice that sounded like the guy from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy always had all this information about the different aliens that they're coming across, the different weapons, and the different things that come in. So it was kind of had like a poetic British kind of an accent, kind of guy, Australia or something, which you didn't mind listening to. His interesting facts. So they had the same voice talking about, well, maybe we don't know exactly where the universe comes from or how it's created, or if in fact there was a big bang, if there was an explosion, what happens at the end of the universe. It appears as if the universe is expanding and the atoms are going farther and farther apart from each other until the universe is just simply dissipates, right? Just simply dissipates into the time. And so, so what happened before this Krishna? Maybe perhaps there was another creation before, right? Basically, but that we just simply don't know. But that's kind of like on the right track. That's about all the time. And series about the Vedic literature explaining that the universes are created every morning of Brahma's day. So, and the duration of Brahma's day is 1,000 yuga cycles taken together. And so also is the duration of this night. So, so this is a pretty long period of time when Brahma again creates the universes. So since the beginning of this specific universe, it's been 1.5 trillion years. I don't think they've carbon dated anything that old. The date of the carbon dating process is actually accurate or not. But they were talking about how different formation of like oxygen came from the oxidation of iron minerals that were in the rocks that were under the ocean. Ocean water started to dissipate. It released oxygen into the atmosphere. So they have so many different theories and hypothetical. They're looking out at outer space and trying to find out any similarities. That Prabhu was also investigating where he is and what is his duty. He was investigating the stem of the lotus flower practically for a millennium. And so finally he gave up and went back to the lotus flower since he didn't find anything. There was a science fiction movie which was very interesting. They had achieved a higher society status to become immortal. And they had this computerized thing that was governing the entire environmental habitat. And all of the people that were left on the planet died of disease. And so they were getting really bored. They were living forever. And they were getting really bored. But they get really advanced. They were like meditating and meeting up on different levels, like an alpha level, delta level. You become criminalized for being on a negative level through the meditation process. So they said that they had built rocket ships, satellites, around space, went far into deep space, finding feedback. So that's just their process. You can't go to the higher planets or even to the moon planet by force or a mechanical arrangement or Sputnik satellite. But it's by the process of the birth and death, by actually entering into the planet, by actually being born there in a specific body that's suitable for that specific habitat. And according to what we see, we're seeing the universe in an impersonal way, where we're actually seeing air and dust and rocks and devoid of proper atmosphere, no water, or there was once some water. They got some land rovers on Mars. They had a rover on Venus for a few hours until it got too hot and heated up and malfunctioned. Apparently, the Russians sent a satellite to Venus in 1985, and they were able to get some sort of information on it. So that's what they're doing. They're trying to get some information by direct experience through sensual perception. But if you take the information and accept that from higher authorities, which is better presenting Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Vedic religions as they are, without any adulteration. One can properly understand things and see things as they are. Are there any questions or comments or any points of discussion? You have a question?
The second comment, sorry, to stop reminding.
Okay.
When you were speaking about we enter into the dream state when we're sleeping and we forget all of ourselves. It's kind of bewildering when that happens, or you enter into something actually night.
Yeah.
You wake up and you're still asleep and you can remember that. It's all being captured.
Yeah, Prabhu was he was talking about when a person, it's often said this, it's possible. A person sleeping, if the second person comes in, the enemy is coming to kill the sleeping person, it takes a third person to go, wake up, danger, wake up, right? So Prabhu was talking about when a person's sleeping and he's dreaming this tiger, and the tiger is coming to eat him, and he's crying, somebody wakes him up, says, where's the tiger? Where's the tiger now? Right? We know there's no tiger, right? So we have fearful states. Prabhupada was talking about the nighttime, daytime, nighttime dreaming, that the senses of the mind they respond to what we're experiencing in the dreams, instead of that practical experience of this by the nocturnal emission that take place from time to time. Right, and so what else? Oh yeah, the hearing the mantra is just like the snake shaman, or the person who comes to eradicate the person from ghosts or chanting mantras. But the person gets bit by snakes. You were talking about it at the university where the snake shamans, they actually let all of the poisonous snakes out, and all of the persons in the classroom, they all try to get up to the higher levels, just get away from these dangerous and poisonous snakes. And they wanted to demonstrate how they were actually able to control the snakes. So there's a mantra that one can be rid of the venom of poison of a snake bite, right? Or a person who can eradicate the ghost, and the ghost is not a person by the sound of mantras. So by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha mantra, our hearts become purified, and we can gradually understand this exactly what is the transcendental nature of Krishna, which is being described and revealed by our spiritual master in scriptures from the Bhagavad Gita, understand and actually enter into spiritual transcendental nature of Krishna.
Which is terrible, unlike living we live in now.
Right, yeah.
So wake up from that. And
Yeah, that's a whole other dimension. A whole other dimension. So subtle body, we believe we can actually do things that we don't do during a wakeful state. We fly, we put body parts back on, you know, we do all kinds of things, you know, and we believe we can actually really do this. You know, we're actually, you know, but in our waking state, you know, our physics are completely different, not time, and we try to, you know, be dangerous, right? You know, two different feels all together. I don't know if you've ever experienced sleeping disorders, but you get really into like no dreaming, being able to go to sleep, being able to find out what exactly happens when we can't go to sleep. Why you only go to sleep for a second, for a minute, for an hour, maybe for a couple hours, after you're lucky 2 or 3 or 4 hours. You know, most of the time you go like days without sleep, you know, and you really kind of understand exactly what type of realm this thing actually really is, that you have this full consciousness. And Bhagavad refers to that as full consciousness, you know, we're sort of living our consciousness to a subtle state, you know, it's a whole other dimension. It's different every time too. You know, we're doing something else, or you know, we have this other construct about things, you know, about our environment or surroundings. You know, some really pleasant things going on there. And another kind of chance to actually get some information by looking over the see things how they're going on. You know, we have powerful symbols for what we're talking about. Yeah, that's an interesting, nice comment. Right? Yeah, so we get in consciousness of outside of time, outside of past, present, and future, the eternal devotional service. Performing devotional service and engaging in eternal constantly. Anything together, and that's all the whole root of all things from the chanted, which from the sound of the vibration. Any other questions or comments? Hare Krishna.
Jai.